Now we know, don't we, that people are messy. People have problems, and it doesn't matter if they are in church or out of church. Maybe you are new and you've met one of those Christians trying to prove their perfection. This idea that we've got to have it all together. This idea that we've got to have the right house, the right family, the right clothes, the right friends around us, the right following, the right title on our door, the right this or that. It is a lie. It's the very lie that Paul comes in this letter to address, because looks don't define you. Love does. Titles don't prove who you are. Truth does. This world, it looks on the outside what is seen, but our God, he has a habit of looking and working through what is unseen. That's exactly what Paul is addressing in this chapter. What way of thinking is Paul trying to expose? And the reason I want you to do that is because didn't Paul say that one of the ways that we demolish the strongholds of our thinking is to take every thought captive? I'm kind of a simple guy, and that sounds really out there, but what Paul is basically saying is think about what you're thinking. The way we begin to demolish the strongholds of our thinking is to think about what you are thinking. I developed a bit of a list. There's going to be a screen that comes up right now that at least, what have we got there? 7 different ways of thinking that Paul comes to expose, and you can read those in your own time. But things like wisdom equals clever arguments, leadership equals fame or a platform, suffering equals failure. But this bottom one, how many people know this is so alive in our world today, that success is found in comparison to other people? We have to slow down and dig a little deeper here, because what Paul is saying is so profound. In the Greek, he's actually saying we confine ourselves to the metron of the kanonos. I can't pronounce it properly, but in English, it basically translates the measure of the measure. Think about what you're thinking about. It was a phrase that they used in sporting terms to describe the circle, the sphere, the track that they would run around in athletics. And it might sound fancy in the Greek, but in Australia, we've got a word for it. Stay in your lane. Paul is saying that God has assigned to you this measure. He gives it to you. He gives you a measure, an area, a lane. You might call it your purpose, or maybe just how God has uniquely created and placed you in this world. He's given you a track to run on. It's like he's saying, Josh, you're in lane 5. If you're going to brag about anything, brag about lane 5 and where you are at. Talk about where God has placed you and his purpose upon your life. And when you're bragging about it, when you're boasting about it, when you're talking about it, remember that it was God who put you in that place. You didn't earn the lane, you were given the lane by his grace. So you could say, know your lane, run your race. I closed in almost the same way last week to say, to be yours and yours only. Well, today we've said, haven't we, we're going to think about what we're thinking about. We don't wage war the same way the world wages war. We're going to know our lane, run our race. We're going to pray this week, God, give me grace to know and grace to go. But in the same way, I want you to know this morning, to know the shepherd is your greatest spiritual weapon. So I need you to know what happens practically in the church in Corinth in that day still happens in different forms of our world today. That track that Paul's referring to, you could think of it as this community, our world, our church. This is my challenge this morning. Your challenge for this week is, who can you be vulnerable with? Super practical. Who can you be accountable to? Hey, would you help me do that? Hey, would you pray for me when I'm going through this? Hey, would you come and read this scripture with me? Hey, I don't understand what's going on here. Can we gather together and talk about what God's heart is for this situation? That's how we demolish the strongholds of this world's way of thinking, not by behavior management, not by trying to be perfect, but by heart surrender, not in isolation, but in community.